Micronesia since 1938. Matson, in partnership with the Guam National Olympic Committee and Guam's delegation to the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, Biba Team Guam. Cars Plus Hyundai, home of the Kona electric vehicle, an electric heart with an SUV soul. Test drive yours today at Cars Plus. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it, and King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
On prime time now, although the governor says she's waiting for guidance before all rise payments can be released, one Republican senator says she already has it. Nestor Lecanto explains. Plus, while the island waits for their all-rise payments, our neighbors in the CNMI have already started using the federal funding that they've received. And we'll tell you the latest on the state of Marble Cave and the erosion controversy.
Hot day and good evening. I'm Tyler Matsinani. The governor says she's waiting for guidance from the Treasury Department before she'll release all-rise pandemic assistance payments. But Senator Jim Moylan says she already has it. He says the issue was covered in a frequently asked questions memo issued by the Treasury Department back on July 19th. Nestor Lecanto has more.
Moylan says it's right there in black and white. FAQ 2.6. It asks, may recipients use funds to respond to the public health emergency and its negative economic impacts by providing direct cash transfers to households?
Well, the answer is yes.
The governor has said she won't use any of the more than $600 million she received from the American Rescue Plan until she receives the final guidance that specifically authorizes it. But Moylan says the FAQ makes it clear she can.
It went on further to state that, local governments can even consider the amounts previously paid by the federal government. In other words, the federal government provided us with $1,400, and the current RISE Act says $800. So I think certainly we can increase that to $1,000 for individuals and $2,000 for joint filers.
In the meantime, Reventax has been working on the verification process for the applications. Moylan says that's another unnecessary reason for delay.
I don't blame Department of Revenue Taxation at all. They are doing their best to follow, and they're getting their instructions and have been talking to the Attorney General. But the governor can stop this with an executive order.
Senators will also be considering legislation to remove the cap and extend the payment deadline so everyone who qualifies will get paid.
From what I've seen, the governor will act on her own time. But it's not stopping us from saying that the time is right to pay the people of Guam.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Residents have been impatiently waiting for the direct assistance. The applications for the All-Rise Pandemic Assistance Program are still not available as Reventax is still working on them. But over in the CNMI, Governor Ralph Torres has already begun spending his money. We spoke to him in an interview for KUAM's In Full Zoom segment.
Fortunate here because our budget at $200 million, we have close to $500 million on ARPA funds, but want to make sure that we give the whole cabinet members, the departments, helping private sectors. We have, believe $500 the stimulus that we're giving out to the community, and that would be like a credit card.
The cards have a wide variety of approved uses, but can only be spent within the CNMI. Torres says he discussed it with key cabinet members beforehand, and they believe such disbursements and others will be allowed under the Treasury guidelines.
So much things that I wanted to share, but at the end of the day, we want to do it right. We want to expedite this because we have limited time to spend, and I'm glad that we've been spending this money already, and we're excited for it.
You can catch the full interview with Governor Torres along with other members of his Council of Economic Advisors on next week's In Full Zoom segment. More now on the solar farm project in Manilao that has ruined one of Guam's most historic and popularly visited landmarks. Although we've been showing you the muddied mess, attentions are now turning to who was responsible for monitoring the project to ensure the contractors were doing what they said they were going to do to protect the environment.
Here's what the solar farm contractor, Samsung E&C America Inc. was supposed to do.
According to their erosion erosion and sediment control plan, there was supposed to be 5 ponding basins constructed prior to any earth moving work.
Instead, there were 2, and according to Guam EPA spokesperson Nick Lee, based on follow-up inspections, the contractor is working on addressing the notice of violation issued to the company last week.
There's also silt fence repair work being completed at Pond 2, as the portion of the silt fence experiences the most pressure from the rainwater runoff. Berm sloping work also continues at Pond 4 with excess material outside that berm being removed. Swell improvements are also taking place at Ponding Basin 5B with the edges of the swell trimmed to provide a wider channel for the flow of water.
Senator Joanne Brown is a former deputy administrator of Guam EPA and a former director of the Department of Public Works. Both are agencies that approved the plans for the contractor, and apparently both, according to Brown, dropped the ball. The solar farm project is more than halfway completed with the installation of more than 150,000 solar panels.
I understand Guam EP is no larger than it was when I was deputy back in the early 90s. But what we do is we maximize our presence. And certainly when you have a substantially sized project like this particular project in Marbo, you do regular inspections. And so I'm a bit concerned as to whether or not Guam EPA not only has been doing regular inspections, but whether or not they've been requiring the contractor to take corrective action. It's one thing to approve these projects and allow them to go out there, but you don't sit around and wait till you get a report. DPW is the ultimate because, you know, you circulate your permit among different agencies and get their approval, but the ultimate signatory that activates that permit is DPW. So certainly DPW should have also been out there. And have they? Perhaps they were, but, you know, the evidence kind of says otherwise.
Guam EPA did not provide information on how many times inspections were conducted, but Lee confirms a complaint was filed and Guam EPA followed up with their inspections and issued the NOV. He also cited the lack of manpower at the agency.
We would like to be everywhere as much as we can. Unfortunately, we don't have the proper human resources to pull that off.
The contractor, as we reported, faced an $18 million penalty, but local law only allows a maximum fine of $125,000. An oversight hearing into the mess at Marble Cave area is pending.
A motion hearing and arraignment was held following a superseding indictment charging Matthew Manabusin with manslaughter, aggravated assault, and possession of a firearm without a firearm ID card for the death of Joshua Meno, whose body was found in April along Swamp Road in Dededo. According to the initial magistrate's complaint, Meno was having dinner at Manabusin's house when he got into a fight with Manabusin's cousin and struck him with a machete. The complaint alleged that Manabusin then got a gun and shot Meno in the lower right rib area. Defense counsel Jay Areola filed a motion to compel Meno's criminal history for any cases involving violence. Areola argued that he has an extensive criminal history to include terrorizing, family violence, and assault. Assistant AG Rochelle Canto argued that the information would be irrelevant. However, Areola affirmed that the fact that Meno has a history of violent crimes is information that is relevant to the case. The government also testified to having a medical examiner in Hawaii. The government also tried to have a medical examiner in Hawaii testify via Zoom. However, the court ultimately denied the motion and the medical examiner must come to Guam in person to testify. Due to the significant reduction of charges from murder down to manslaughter, the defense asked the court to reconsider Manabusin's bail and release him on a personal recognizance bond, and even offered Meno's father's house for a value of over $250,000. The court ordered the defense to file a motion. Court will reconvene for a pretrial conference on Friday, August 13th, prior to going to trial on August 23rd. A bill to authorize a commercial submerged land license to GTA for landing its telecommunications cables was passed by senators to the voting file during session today. The measure was tabled yesterday while amendments were made to provide more benefits and protections for the Chamorro Land Trust, who controls the land on the Alupang Reef flat into Muning. Main sponsor Senator Joe San Agustin says the changes provide a win-win for both the trust and the local telecommunications industry.
To execute their mandates, not just from GTA, but from all other carriers as well. I appreciate the work the Speaker and her committee has performed by producing this substitute. And I urge my colleagues to vote yes on this legislation so we can move forward in building capacity for our island's telecommunication that will keep our island connected to the world.
Session resumes tomorrow morning. Stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
It's a special delivery.
I messed up.
State-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
When we face an uncertain path, when we struggle with life's challenges, and when the unexpected happens, it's a beautiful day. We rely on the people we trust, it's a beautiful, who we can always count on, and the ones who give us the most care throughout the years. Rely on Calvo's Select Care to give you the comfort and security you need wherever you are. Calvo's Select Care, health care that's always there for you.
Home, a place where I can go to take this off my shoulders. Someone take me home.
Home. It's more than wood, square footage, and a floor plan. It's where life happens and moments become etched into memories. At Bank of Hawaii, we're proud to help families all across Guam buy and improve their home. Applying takes just a few moments, but the memories last a lifetime. Simplified by Bank of Hawaii. Welcome to tomorrow.
Summer is here, and at Cars Plus, we have the perfect Jeep for your summer adventures. Whether you're going off-road or just getting ready to hit the beach down south, make this the summer event you find your Jeep, like the 2021 Jeep Wrangler or the 2021 Jeep Gladiator. Equipped with Guam's only lifetime powertrain warranty. Call us at 477-7807 or visit our website at carsplusguam.com to schedule a test drive today. Cars Plus, driven by you.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Welcome back. Department of Youth Affairs and Child Protective Services Director Melanie Brennan says juvenile incarceration at DYA has been on the decline since the start of the pandemic.
Since the pandemic, we've maintained our lowest numbers. At the beginning in March of 2020, we had about 25 youth detained. We currently have less than a dozen, and that seems to be the steady number.
Pre-pandemic numbers for DYA averaged about 25 to 30 detainees, with a pandemic high of 18. Brennan said the low numbers may be because most juvenile justice referrals come from the school setting. That being said, Brennan did say on the CPS side that referrals continue to come in.
Is a number of them involve severe neglect, physical neglect of children.
She adds that referrals don't always lead to the removal of children from parents. Linking families to services, assessments, follow-ups, and visitations are all steps she says CPS takes to mitigate child removal. Brennan also said she is awaiting guidance from the Attorney General's office on the implementation of 2 recently passed laws authored by Senator Mary Torres. Brennan and Public Health Deputy Terry Uggan had cited concerns with the laws when they were in bill form. Brennan told the Link the laws had good intentions, but that guidance from the AG for affected families and her agency are pending. With COVID restrictions lifted, it's back to the new normal for Catholic churches. Over the weekend, social distancing measures at village churches were removed and parishioners were allowed to occupy all pews in Mass. But Archdiocese of Hagåtña Liturgical Committee Chair Father Paul Goffigan says the viewing portion of funerals that were conducted inside of church pre-COVID will not be returning. Father Paul telling the Link viewings will be restricted to funeral homes.
Viewing is over at the funeral home, and it's usually at 9 a.m. So I will travel to the funeral home to open the casket and bless the body so the viewing can take place. Once the viewing is over, the body will be processed over to the church. Will be greeted at the front door, and the casket is closed because the viewing has already happened. The casket will be closed, the casket will be blessed and processed into the church immediately for the Mass.
Father Paul added that in the event a viewing can't be held at the funeral home, church parish halls will be an option. But if your village church doesn't have a parish hall, you may have to have the funeral held at a neighboring village's church. The Sign of Peace portion of Mass will still be voluntary with no physical contact. Father Paul also said those who may have had loved ones cremated during the pandemic can contact their pastor to arrange for a proper Catholic funeral. The first of the regularly scheduled flights from Korea began arriving this week. GVB reports that more than 3,700 seats will be available through 3 different Korean carriers. So far, though, only about 600 tickets have been sold. GVB President Carl Gutierrez says he's not disappointed with the early numbers.
So the fact that we only had a few real tourists come in on the 52 passengers, it's still a good sign that they're letting them out and that the passengers that are really fully vaccinated are looking at Guam as a place to come to because of the very, very great protocol and the very safe Guam destination that they believe it is.
GVB is also encouraging local tourism businesses to start opening up, although Gutierrez understands that they can't push too far if there are not enough customers around.
That's why we did the trolley, maybe to amass them in one trolley and people walking up and down the streets. Just actually, seeing is believing. But even at that, they're still not sure whether they can break even or they'll be in a loss. So hopefully the Guam Economic Development Authority and GVB can come up with a relationship where they can sort of subsidize some of our local businesses to open up early.
In other tourism news, Gutierrez says he's been working with a local family that is planning a major new hotel development in northern Guam in an area known as Urunao. He says they've already gone before the Land Use Commission and plan to bring in power, water, and sewer lines to the area. Turning to national headlines, new coronavirus cases in the United States have increased 40% over the past month to an average of nearly 72,000 cases a day, the highest since mid-February. Hospitalizations and deaths are also rising as the Delta variant spreads throughout the country. The surge is swamping hospitals, forcing governments and other entities to tighten restrictions, while health officials plead with those unvaccinated to get the shot. Skylar Henry has the latest from Washington.
Florida leads the nation in per capita coronavirus hospitalizations, recording more than 10,000 admissions Monday.
But the numbers are doubling every 10 or 11 days. This is horrifying.
Hospitalizations have increased tenfold in the state over the past month.
The numbers that we're seeing are unbelievable.
Governor Ron DeSantis insists the surge is seasonal as people head indoors to avoid the heat. He continues to ban local governments from implementing mask and vaccine requirements.
At a certain point, leaders are going to have to choose whether they're going to follow public health guidelines or whether they're going to follow politics. And we certainly encourage all governors to follow the public health guidelines.
Restrictions are tightening elsewhere. Today, Louisiana reinstated its mask mandate for all indoor locations, regardless of vaccination status.
Our latest numbers further confirm that we simply have to do more.
Masks for indoor settings are also mandatory again in California's Bay Area. In Denver, all city employees and private sector workers working in high-risk settings must be vaccinated. Masks are required again at many McDonald's restaurants. But there is good news. The White House task force says over the past week, vaccination rates are up by 70%.
Americans are seeing the risk and impact of being unvaccinated and responding with action. And that's what it's going to take to get us out of this pandemic.
And the White House said it's reached the goal it originally hoped to achieve by the 4th of July. 70% of U.S. adults have received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
With regional headlines, here's KSPN 2 News.
Holiday Zantiro, Guam. Here's what's making headlines in the CNMI. Over the years, many individuals across the Commonwealth have put themselves at risk participating in illegal drag racing. It has become a popular sport despite the dangers. Much talk in the community implies that a drag race occurred the night Sophia Damapon died. Governor Torres pleads to the community to hang in there as they are working on plans to make it safe for everyone.
There is the right way to race if this is what has occurred. We are trying to get there. For everyone that's illegally drag racing, please stop. It doesn't help anyone. And this recent tragedy, if this is the case and what's been saying, somebody eventually is going to get hurt. It may be you, it may be your loved ones, someone's daughter, someone's son, or mother or father. So please stop. And wait until the right avenue is open to the community.
Lawmakers have been trying to pass legislation that would legalize drag racing in the CNMI since 2003. House Speaker Edmund Villagomez was the last author to push the bill.
So House Bill 19-103's purpose was to regulate drag racing within the CNMI. It's also to regulate it in a sense where there will be a designated area, and that with this bill, the intent was for the different agencies like public land and whatnot to work together to promulgate regulations and whatnot to have a place for drag racing, and that's where it's going to be legal. Whereas, right now it's illegal and people are illegally doing it, and it really puts those racers or those drivers at risk, and even the spectators.
If the bill had become law, agencies such as the Marianas Racing Association and the Department of Public Safety were already informed and ready to be part of the legislation.
It did pass the House in the form of 19-103 House Draft 1, but when it got to the Senate, there was no action.
Villagomez states this may be something to look into again.
I think 19-103 was a pretty simple bill, but maybe we can visit it again and maybe put language in there to give it more teeth and have more specifics so it's well regulated. But as of now, drag racing is still illegal, and maybe that's probably the safer way to put it. Where our cops do patrol the streets, and they can stop that anytime.
KSPN archives reveal that there has been at least 3 fatalities related to illegal drag racing. For more news, please visit saipantv.com. For KSPN2, I'm Sally Limas.
Coming up, Dave Delgado is on deck with sports. Keep it here. You're watching KUAM.
Your community calendar is brought to you by Taco Bell. Whether it's your first meal or your fourth meal, we've got you covered. Taco Bell, live Mas.
KUAM News, in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau, brings you the Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase. Look out for this powerful symbol for visitors, island residents, and industry workers alike, as it represents establishments with a consistent global commitment to safety practices. Stamped with approval by the Guam Visitors Bureau and the World Travel Tourism Council. Every Monday on KUAM News will feature a different local business who's taken the Safe Guam and Safe Travels pledge to maintain health and safety standards to get Guam back on track. Log on to visitguam.com to see how your business can receive the designation, what businesses in our community are Guam Safe certified, and have the WTTC Safe Travel certified.
From the minds that brought you Taco Bell's Fry Force comes another mouth-watering adventure, packed with seasoned beef, drizzled with spicy ranch, and covered with your favorite toppings. It's the new loaded taco fries, now serving at a Taco Bell near you.
Half a day.
Hi.
That will be $20, please.
I forgot my Mobile Smiles Driver's Rewards card.
No worries. You can now use your registered mobile number to earn points.
Can I use my mobile number to redeem rewards?
Sure. Just show us your photo ID or driver's license.
That's easy.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. I'll get you some championship highlights from the FD Alumni Tournament in just a bit. But first off, footage from the Dry Try event held at the Guam Nico Hotel. Check it out. The first event of this year's Dry Try series took place at the Guam Nico Hotel. Several gyms on island were represented by their athletes. Participants went home with a recovery bag that included a Fit Aid recovery drink, Fit Aid Go recovery powder, Naco BCAA energy drink, barbells, protein bars, and boxed water.
The event turned out better than we thought. We had a few dropouts due to a military exercise, so we were kind of nervous on the participation, but it turns out there was more people that wanted to do it than we thought. So we actually pushed through what our normal predictions were in signups. We're at about 32 signups of the 30 allotted signups, so we're doing a lot better than we thought. Just seeing the camaraderie amongst all the gyms and all the community just wanting to get out and do something with their fitness, and we were happy to provide that event.
The fitness competition started with a 4,000-meter bike, transitioned into a 6,000-meter row, followed by a 2-mile run.
I want to take part because it challenges my fitness, and I want to encourage members of my CrossFit gym to also partake in these kind of events too. The challenges was managing the lactic acid on my legs, trying to make sure they're fresh, and especially the running on the sand. That was a huge challenge right at the end.
The second round of the competition will take place August 28th, with the final round of the competition taking place on September 18th at the Guam Nico Hotel.
I'm a trainer at my CrossFit gym and also a health coach at my Guam agency, GWA, and just trying to encourage more people to get their fitness back on, especially after this long year layoff from a lot of closures, a lot of restrictions. So that brings us all together.
Shout out to Class of 06 for winning this year's FD Alumni Tournament for the 8th time, beating out Class of 04 this year. Don't forget to check out NBCOlympics.com for all the results and highlights from the Tokyo Olympic Games. Tonight, the stars of Team USA are back on the track, including the Olympic debut of Noah Lyles live, and women's gymnastics continues as Jade Carey goes for gold on the floor. The Tokyo Olympics tonight on NBC.
KUAM Sports is brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together.
For the different beats of your life, we're here to keep you connected the way you want it. Plans made for you, by you. Build your own bundle with Link. Select the internet, entertainment, mobile, and home phone plans that fit your lifestyle. Pay for what you want, not for what you don't. Build your own bundle and save with Link.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
You may ask yourself, what is a blue raspberry? Or a pink lemon? Or even a strawberry watermelon? But they taste so good in these Minute Maid slushies from McDonald's. Who cares? It's more than a drink. It's a McDonald's drink.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shoutouts from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy August 3rd birthday to Sheila Onodera, to our beautiful beast of a woman, E. To Sheila, your family and friends say they love you. Anna Angelina Flores gets a belated birthday shout out today. Angelina was born on August the 2nd. Happy birthday to my girl. We hope you have a blessed day from your girls, Ananaya, Amaya, Jacob, and Dad. So, Sheila and Angelina, we hope that both of you have amazing birthdays. We appreciate you as members of our community. Half a day and happy birthday.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online at KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birth date. That's going to do it for us here on Prime Time. Up next, our health, home, and lifestyle edition of KUAM News Extra. Thanks for watching. Good night and be safe.